Chapter 72, Strange Fog Surrounds the City, the Army of Bones. You are listening at Audio. On the south wall of the city, Qin Jiang stood on the wall after closing the city gate and looked into the distance. The thick white fog spread with the black clouds, swallowing everything. He recognized that this was the strange fog, which was so thick that it was almost black. Damn! Is this strange tide like this? How many strange things are hidden in such a thick strange fog? He looked around, walked quickly to a beacon tower, took a signal rocket from the side, ignited it and exploded in the air. Not long after, signal rockets exploded in other directions of the outer city. Seeing this, he breathed a sigh of relief, but still with a strong fear. This strange fog was overwhelming and came from all directions. There was no possibility of escape at all. Just as he was thinking about how to deal with it, the strange fog had approached Black Mountain City, but stopped 100 meters away from the city wall. At this time, everything in sight was blocked by thick fog, and Black Mountain City seemed to have become an isolated city. Ding, ding, ding. A sound of metal clashing came from the thick fog, and a black shadow gradually became clear. Whoosh. The black shadow rode out of the fog and revealed his appearance. It was Long Yuesheng who had left the city earlier. "Brother Qin, save me," that he shouted loudly. He killed all the way from 100 miles away. He didn't have a chance to stop. He killed almost in one breath. If it weren't for the blood-flame golden spear in his hand that had some effect of restraining the weirdness, even if he used the 1,000-feather spear to perfection, he would have died on the road long ago. Even so, he was almost exhausted at this moment. Qin Jiang saw this without hesitation and leaned down directly. At the same time, the weirdness chasing Long Yuesheng also showed up. It was a huge white skeleton. No, not just one. Qin Jiang's pupils shrank, his body suddenly accelerated, and he stepped on the horse's back with one foot, and directly picked up Long Yuesheng and returned to the top of the wall. Looking back, I saw a dense army of skeletons rushing out of the mist. They were so fast that they caught up with Long Yuesheng's black horse in just a breath. Chi 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 chi. The sound of claws cutting through flesh and blood rang out, and it was still very clear even from dozens of meters away. Qin Jiang's eyes were stern, and he clearly saw that the claws of the skeletons were almost not stagnant when they cut off the black horse's body. This means that the claws of the skeletons are much sharper than ordinary swords. After a few breaths, the skeleton army retreated, leaving only a broken skeleton stained with blood. Long Yuesheng propped himself up with the blood-flamed golden spear, stood beside Qin Jiang and looked at the horse skeleton, with a trace of sadness in his eyes. This warhorse has been with him for a long time, but he never thought it would end in this way. Has anything happened in the city these days? Have those monsters come? He asked after adjusting his mood. The leader was seriously injured, so I became the leader of the Red Tiger Gang and took over the Red Tiger Gang on his behalf. As for those monsters, many of them have come. Qin Jiang said. Long Yuesheng nodded as if he was relieved. He had known that Lu Xuanwu was seriously injured, otherwise he would not have agreed to let the monsters enter the city. It's good that they are here. Those monsters are very powerful and are good at charm. They can greatly increase morale and even turn people into painless killing machines when necessary. Qin Jiang's eyes moved slightly, and he didn't ask any more questions. It was impossible for people not to die in the strange siege. What did County Lieutenant Long do when he went out of the city? But was it successful? He asked. He didn't think that Long Yuesheng retreated after failing to escape. If the other party really wanted to escape, he could have escaped long ago. There was no need to escape at this time. Long Yuesheng shook his head. I failed. I was going to ask for help myself, but I was forced back halfway. This time, he was going to go to the county city to ask for help, but he made a mistake. He didn't expect that the outbreak would be so fast this time. Qin Jiang nodded and looked forward, asking how to deal with this strange tide, that he had no experience dealing with strange tides. But Long Yuesheng was obviously more experienced, otherwise he would not have had a chance to fight out of the strange fog. Besides, he was fine fighting alone, but if he commanded a team of more than 20, he would have trouble. Long Yuesheng's eyes sank slightly, and he sighed. This is no longer a strange tide, This is a strange domain that has already taken shape. Qin Jiang looked at Long Yuesheng and saw worry in his eyes, with a hint of panic, a look he had never seen on him before. What is the difference between the strange domain and the strange tide? He asked. Long Yuesheng sighed slightly. After the formation of the strange domain, a strangeness of the level of one-eyed strange will be born. That is an existence above the Grandmaster, and we have no way to deal with it. Even if all the masters of the divine will in Black Mountain City rush forward, they are definitely not the opponent of one-eyed strange. That is a real existence comparable to the secret warrior. Qin Jiang was stunned when he heard this. Strange. Above the Grandmaster. An existence comparable to the secret warrior. How strong is the secret warrior? He couldn't help asking. Although he had seen a clue from the potential points required for the leap deduction, he still couldn't really imagine the power of the secret warrior. Long Yuesheng shook his head. It is definitely not comparable to the divine will warrior. That is a realm beyond the mundane, known as an inhuman existence. Practicing the handed-down secret martial arts, once mastered, it will have the power to break the city with one blow. Break the city with one blow. Qin Jiang's pupils shrank slightly, and his eyes couldn't help but fall on the city wall under his feet. Such a thick wall, even if he wanted to smash a gap, it would take at least a day, and someone could actually defeat it with one blow. Such power is more than 10 times that of a master. The gap between the true warrior and the secret warrior is so big. What kind of a wonder is the origin map? It can actually increase the strength of a warrior so much. He couldn't help but look forward to it. How strong would he be when he mastered this power? I wonder if County Lieutenant Long can get a secret martial art. He asked. Long Yuesheng looked at him in surprise. I don't even have one myself. Qin Jiang suddenly realized, I was rude. Long Yuesheng smiled and shook his head. Actually, it's not that you can't get it. If you join the Bronze Bell Gate, you can get it with your talent. Moreover, this secret martial art is different from the true martial art. It's useless to simply get the secret book. You must go to the core area to absorb the secret martial art source power to practice it. Qin Jiang's eyes lit up slightly. Secret martial art source power. I guess it's the so-called origin map. Crack, crack. There was a sound of bones creaking in my ears. Qin Jiang and Long Yuesheng looked over and saw that the blood on the black horse skeleton had disappeared and turned completely into white bones. Wisps of strange mist surged out from behind it and wrapped it. Trample, trample, the sound of horse hooves rang out, and the eye sockets of the black horse skeleton turned into 2 dark vortex holes, and the body moved like a living thing. Trample, trample. It rushed towards the city wall, and at the same time, a dense army of white bones rushed out of the strange mist behind it. Qin Jiang and Long Yuesheng were surprised, and looked at each other, and they saw confusion in each other's eyes, especially Long Yuesheng. Qin Jiang didn't know much about the strange domain, but he had experienced it several times. But he didn't know that this strange domain actually had the ability to transform strangeness. This has never happened before. Immediately, the corners of his mouth curled up, which was a manifestation of anger and laughter. My warhorse, how dare you transform into a weird one? Brother Qin, do you dare to charge down together? Qin Jiang laughed when he heard this. Ha ha ha. Why not? As the voice fell, he rushed down the city wall first, and directly killed into the army of bones with just a pair of iron fists. Long Yuesheng saw this and did not show weakness, and rushed down with a gun. He was born with supernatural power and good recovery ability. In just a short while, he had recovered almost everything and was not afraid of a fight. Outside the city, Qin Jiang was like a tiger entering a sheepfold, slaughtering the army of bones wantonly, but the number of these skeletons was extremely large, and they were cut one after another like leeks. He found that the power of these skeletons was almost equivalent to that of ordinary warriors. Some powerful alien skeletons, such as some skeletons as crystal-like as jade, or some animal skeletons, can even reach the level of second-rate masters. In terms of strength alone, they are not even weaker than some masters who have just entered the realm of divine will. However, due to their clumsy movements and lack of rules, they were not a big threat to him. After charging for a while, footsteps sounded on the wall behind them. It's the chief. Quick! Prepare your bows and crossbows. Kong Hai's voice sounded, accompanied by the sound of bowstrings being pulled. Release. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Arrows pierced through the air and arrived in an instant. Arrows as thick as thumbs pierced through a row of white skeletons and bounced off the horns of a deer-shaped skeleton. Those above the realm of divine intention, follow me and kill. Kong Hai raised his axe and shouted, and jumped off the wall directly. The remaining hall masters and deacons who had practiced the red tiger fist also followed suit. Only Sun Qianzhao and Chen Feng were on the wall to command the situation and command the crossbows to attack the gathering place of the white skeleton army. In a short while, everyone had gathered together, and several people took turns to kill the white skeleton army like a meat grinder. Chapter 73, Jinyu Pavilion, Burnt Corpse in the Clinic. Please read on. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After an unknown amount of time, Sun Qianzhao and Chen Feng had already replaced each other several times, and the army of bones finally retreated. At this time, torches had been lit on the city wall. Qin Jiang and the gang members sat under the city wall, while Long Yuesheng picked up the broken bones of his warhorse, although he could not be sure whether what he picked up was real. Zhang Lin, who was rotated back to the city wall, opened the city gate and pushed out a cart of food. Qin Jiang and the others rushed over like a tiger. After a while, Qin Jiang breathed a sigh of relief. This time, he and Long Yuesheng, as well as Sun Qianzhao and Kong Hai, were basically responsible for the main force, and the rest were mainly to take over the auxiliary. Ta-ta-ta. There was a sound of horse hooves from the city, and Mengan rushed out on a fast horse and turned over and dismounted directly. Boss, the other 3 city gates have been defended. In addition to the large number of skeletons on our side, there are only a small number of skeletons attacking the other 3. Long Yuesheng frowned slightly when he heard this. Is it such a coincidence? Suddenly, his mind was like thunderbolt, and he looked at Qin Jiang fiercely. Brother Qin, can you go deeper into the strange fog with me? I may know the source of this army of white bones. Qin Jiang raised his eyebrows. Let's go. After that, he looked at the people of the Red Tiger gang. Okay, don't stay here, go back to the city wall. After everyone entered the city and closed the city gate, he looked at Long Yuesheng. Where are you going? Long Yuesheng nodded. Follow me, it shouldn't be far. The two walked into the strange fog. With their eyesight, even if there was a strange fog blocking them, they could still see everything within a range of 10 meters around them, without worrying about the sneak attack of the white skeletons. Moreover, if necessary, they could burst out their internal energy to temporarily expel the strange fog around them. After walking forward for a while, Long Yuesheng raised his hand slightly, indicating to stop, then he suddenly exhaled, and the internal energy in his body dissipated, dispersing the strange fog within a radius of 100 meters, revealing a scene that shocked the two. In front of the two of them, there was a mass grave, and dense white skeletons crawled out of the pit. This is where the refugees were buried before. Qin Jiang's pupils shrank slightly. Long Yuesheng felt his heartbeat stagnate, and his face suddenly changed. Could these white skeletons be the refugees after death? He vaguely remembered that the decision to burn the refugees was made after he and the people in the county government discussed it. It seems that he was the one who took the lead. He became flustered and felt that he was being calculated. Go. He shouted loudly, waving the blood-flamed golden spear in his hand, and the white skeleton army had surrounded them at this time. Qin Jiang threw a punch, defeated a group of white skeleton army, and then retreated. Not long after, the fire illuminated the front view, and the two had left the range of the strange fog, and the white skeleton army did not catch up for some reason. These white skeletons seemed a little unusual. They attacked the city during the day and retreated at night. Back on the city wall, Qin Jiang was a little irritated. First, he didn't know how long the strange fog would last, and second, he was worried about the eye ghost that had not yet appeared but was likely to appear. Long Yuesheng saw his worry and smiled slightly. Don't worry, although I was forced to retreat, I have already sent a request for help to the county city. Qin Jiang looked up when he heard it. Are you sure you will receive it? After the voice fell, not only him, but also the rest of the gang members looked over. Long Yuesheng pondered for a moment. If there is no reinforcement within 5 days, it probably has not been received. However, with the scale of this strange domain, even if no request for help is received, the county city will find it. At most, someone will come within 10 days. With the power of the Tongzhong Gate in the county city, it is not difficult to solve a strange domain. The person he wanted to invite back to the county city this time was actually a true disciple of the Tongzhong Gate. For a true secret warrior, solving a strange domain that has not yet been fully formed is not a difficult task, but now it seems that something unexpected has happened. Qin Jiang nodded slightly and said nothing. Compared to rescue, he still believes in his fists more. That night, Song Mansion, boom. With a violent bang, Qin Jiang kicked open the door of Song Mansion and walked in directly. Who are you? How dare you break into Song Mansion? Do you know that our master is the county magistrate? That a night watchman who looked like a housekeeper came out and pointed at Qin Jiang and asked, since his master took the position of county magistrate, no one has dared to underestimate the Song family so much. The next moment, his body flew backwards. Even though he was unconscious, blood continued to flow out of his mouth and nose. The surging blood-colored murderous aura flowed, spreading across the yard and pouring into the backyard. Ahem, it turns out to be Qin Shozhua. I wonder why Qin Shozhua broke into my Song Mansion at night. Isn't it too much to take the law into your eyes? Song Xiaoan walked out of the backyard, wearing white pajamas, with a bit of anger on his face. Even now, he still didn't believe that Qin Jiang dared to attack him so blatantly. Besides, he was not a pushover. If they really fought, he might not necessarily lose. Let me ask you, what is the matter with the female ghost in the backyard of Chaofeng Tower? Qin Jiang said. Song Xiaoan's face changed slightly when he heard this, and then he adjusted himself in an instant and said with a smile, you mean that bitch? She claims to be a prostitute, but she is no longer a virgin. How can we allow her to defile the lintel of our Song family? Of course she deserves to die. To be honest, I am kind-hearted. I sent her back before having her hanged. Qin Jiang nodded. I see. Then what about my sister? Where is she? Your sister? Who is your sister? Song Xiaoan looked puzzled. Qin Jiang narrowed his eyes slightly. Qin Hong. Song Xiaoan's face showed surprise. It turns out to be her, but I didn't know this. You also know that with my status as the county magistrate, it is difficult to see your sister. Qin Jiang shook his head. It seems you are ready to die. Song Xiaoan's expression changed slightly. Chief Qin, what are you going to do? I am an official of the imperial court. You want to rebel? Before he finished speaking, a Shu soul appeared in front of him. The speed was so fast that he couldn't even dodge. Boom! Song Xiaoan was kicked into the backyard by Qin Jiang, making a deep hole in the ground. The next second, Qin Jiang transformed into a 4-meter giant and rushed towards him. He picked up Song Xiaoan and smashed him hard, making the ground tremble with every blow. Should you tell me? If you don't tell me, you'll die. The violent noise caused all the family members in the backyard to huddle up in the house and tremble. No one dared to show their head, for fear that Qin Jiang would casually twist their heads off. Gold. Jinyu Pavilion. As the pits became more and more numerous, Song Xiaoan finally couldn't help shouting in pain. Qin Jiang immediately stopped, threw Song Xiaoan to the ground, and used evil energy to shake off the blood on his hands. Song Xiaoan got up and sat on the ground, looking at Qin Jiang with horrified eyes. He had no doubt that if he hadn't said anything just now, he would have been dead by now. How dare he? How dare he kill me? Tell me about it, Jinyu Pavilion. Qin Jiang spoke. This should be the second time he knew this name. Song Xiaoan wiped the blood from his face with his sleeves and took a few deep breaths before speaking. I only know a little bit about Jinyu Pavilion in this county. They seem to be working for Huaigua. They are very mysterious. What does this have to do with my sister? Qin Jiang said, with a cold light in his eyes. Song Xiaoan trembled. They found me that day and said that as long as I help kidnap Qin Hong, they can protect the Song Mansion from this strange tide. Sephora Kingdom. Jinyu Pavilion. Qin Jiang's eyes flashed fiercely. First he wanted to kill himself, and then he kidnapped his sister. It was really too much of a deception. He closed his eyes slightly and took a deep breath. Long County Lieutenant, you heard it all. Long Yuesheng walked out of the shadows and approached with a bloody golden gun. Without any nonsense, he directly shot Song Xiaoan in the head. You dare to treason, damn it, that he looked at Qin Jiang, and he couldn't help but be shocked by Qin Jiang's strength. There were few grand masters he had ever seen who could compare with Qin Jiang. Don't worry, I've heard of Jinyu Pavilion's name, and I will help you investigate. Qin Jiang nodded slightly. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Long County. Hey, you're too polite. Just call me Brother Long from now on. Half a month later, on Xin Villa, inside the house, Qin Jiang felt a little impatient as he looked at the antiques in front of him. It has been half a month now, and without support, the army of bones will attack the city every 2 or 3 days during this period. The disciples and the gang have suffered heavy casualties and have lost hundreds of brothers. If this continues, Black Mountain City will be destroyed within 10 days. Looking at the last batch of antiques in front of him, he mobilized his forces and looted them in the name of the Red Tiger Gang and the county captain. It can be said that there are really no antiques left in Black Mountain City at this time, unless they are some unknown secret family heirlooms. Touch it lightly with your palm, and the potential points will be absorbed after a moment. Potential points, 483.6. Looking at the value that was still a little short of 500, his eyelids couldn't stop shaking, just shy of 20. Still 20. Why is it still short of 20? The irritability accumulated for many days finally made him grab an antique vase and smash it out. Clang! That the vase was hit but did not break, and was caught by Mengan, who came in. Boss, Qin Jiang looked at Mengan irritably. What's wrong? Didn't you tell me not to bother me unless it's something important? Boss, didn't you arrange for me to take Mr. and Mrs. Liu, Mr. Wang, and Dr. Baiyun to the inner city? Mengan said. Qin Jiang frowned and looked coldly. What's wrong? Is there anyone stopping me? Mengan shrank his head, his eyes evasive. No, it's Dr. Baiyun. Dr. Baiyun is not here, and what? You said it. Qin Jiang said impatiently. The medical center was burned down. Only 2 charred corpses were found at the scene. Boom. Qin Jiang's figure disappeared into the house and turned into a strong wind and rushed out. Chapter 74 Silent Killing, please read it later. You are listening at novelfull.audio. North of the city, Baiyun Medical Clinic. Former site. Qin Jiang looked at the ruins in front of him. 2 charred corpses were placed on the ground in front of him. They had been burned to carbonization and became incomplete. The blood-red evil spirit flowed uncontrollably, spreading across the streets and ruins, making everyone present hold their breath slightly. Boss, I have investigated. The only one who had a conflict with Dr. Baiyun was a fox demon who entered the city a few days ago. Qin Jiang remained silent after hearing this. The fire in his eyes gradually subsided, replaced by a cold murderous intent, and even the temperature around him dropped a few degrees. In the cemetery in the north of the city, the sky was dim, and there was a newly erected tombstone. In front of the tombstone was an empty white porcelain plate the size of a wash basin. Qin Jiang leaned over gently and placed a blue hyacinth that he had just picked on the porcelain plate. Then he turned around silently without saying a word, and the members of the Red Tiger Gang lined up on both sides of the road, waiting for orders. Tap tap tap. With the sound of hurried footsteps, Long Yuesheng moved forward quickly and rushed directly to Qin Jiang with an anxious look on his face. Brother Qin. That fox demon can't be killed yet. Qin Jiang looked calm and raised his hand to press on Long Yuesheng's shoulder. In an instant, Long Yuesheng felt numb all over and lost all his strength. How is this possible? Qin Jiang left silently without saying a word. After a while, Long Yuesheng's body gradually regained consciousness and he hurriedly looked in the direction where Qin Jiang left, but there was no one on the road at this time. White streamers were dancing, and paper money fell all over the ground, which was blown up and down by the breeze, and it looked extremely deserted. Recalling just now, his eyes were filled with disbelief. Is the master really that strong? Looking at the cold road, he felt that something was wrong. The fox demon's charm technique had played a big role these days, otherwise, the Black Mountain City might have been breached at this moment. But he was now powerless to stop it. A sense of panic and fear surged in his heart. If the city was broken and the reinforcements had not arrived, then, when night fell, when Qin Jiang arrived at the Fox Demon's residence, the residence had already been on fire. When he walked to the front of the courtyard, Sun Qianzhao and several hall masters were surrounding a fox demon in the center of the courtyard, and more than a dozen demon corpses had fallen around. At this moment, the fox demon was already at the point of exhaustion. A master of the divine realm alone was enough to compete with it, let alone 5 people working together. In just a moment, Sun Qianzhao seized the opportunity, stepped forward and punched down, breaking the fox demon's neck directly. The fox demon fell to the ground in response, and its head drooped weakly, but its strong vitality still prevented it from dying immediately, lying on the ground dying. "You can't kill me. I can help you." Swish. Kong Hai went up and chopped off the fox demon's head with a knife. "You are not the only one." The fox demon's head was held in Kong Hai's hand. His eyes widened, and he said in disbelief, "I am Qingqiu." Before he finished his sentence, he was already silent. His eyes were open. The few people looked at each other, walked quickly to the gate of the courtyard, and knelt on one knee. Kong Hai raised the fox demon's head high. "See you, master." Qin Jiang nodded gently, picked up the fox demon's head and turned away. Everyone followed behind, all the way to the cemetery. Qin Jiang walked to the tombstone and put the fox demon's head on the porcelain plate, and the blood dyed the blue hyacinth red. After the worship, Qin Jiang waved his hand, and the people of the Red Tiger gang left gently, leaving only Qin Jiang. After everyone left, he sat casually next to the tombstone, picked up a jar of strong liquor for worship, and poured it directly into his throat. In fact, he was not very sad, but just felt at a loss. It's like after graduating and working for a few years, I suddenly remembered that I hadn't contacted my old school friends for a long time. When I picked up my phone to contact them, I found that there was no contact information. There was an inexplicable sense of disappointment. "Ha!" He laughed at himself, took the wine jar and got up and left. When he came to his senses, he was stunned. I don't know when he came to Wang Minglang's yard. However, he had arranged for someone to pick up Uncle Wang, and now the yard was dark. Shaking his head, he turned and left. Squeak! Suddenly, there was a sound of the wooden door opening behind him. He turned around and saw Wang Minglang in the yard. "Uncle Wang, you didn't leave." He didn't control his internal energy to eliminate the smell of alcohol, and the strong liquor was really strong, so he seemed a little tongue-tied when he spoke. Wang Minglang smiled. "Although the inner city is nice, I've gotten used to it over the years, so I just came back." "Okay, stop standing outside, come in and sit down." The two of them went into the house. Wang Minglang lit the oil lamp, took out the big pipe and lit it, and after taking a deep puff, the room was immediately filled with smoke. "Your heart is in turmoil," he said softly. Qin Jiang smiled and put the wine jar on the table. "Is it so obvious?" Wang Minglang shook his head. "I don't know what you are worried about, or what you are afraid of." "You are obviously not afraid of this strange siege." Qin Jiang raised his head and leaned on the upper edge of the chair back, a little drunk. "Yes, I am afraid of losing. I don't want to have nothing anymore." After saying that, he sat up straight and looked at Wang Minglang. "Uncle Wang, tell me, if you have a fearless heart, will you still be afraid?" Wang Minglang was startled when he heard the words, slowly took a puff of the big pipe, and nodded slightly. "Fear is human instinct. No one can control the idea of fear. This is normal. Your sister once told me that fearlessness does not mean not having fear, but being able to face the fear in your heart, face it, defeat it, and believe that you can overcome everything by yourself. Believe that you can overcome everything by yourself." Qin Jiang remained silent and stood up and left silently. South of the city, the outer city wall, Qin Jiang sat on the edge of the wall, thinking about what Uncle Wang said, believing that he could overcome everything by himself, looking at the strange fog rolling in front of him. It was slightly yellow under the light of the fire, and it looked a bit quiet. An inexplicable feeling rose in his heart, and he had some enlightenment. "Yes, I care too much about the potential panel. I put too much hope on the potential panel, but I forgot that I should be self-reliant. The potential panel only speeds up my progress, but whether I can reach the other side is still up to me. tap tap tap. Long Yuesheng walked over and looked at Qin Jiang in silence. Qin Jiang did not look back at him. The old doctor is dead, right or wrong, I don't want to say more. Long Yuesheng nodded, I don't mean anything else, but I checked and found that the fox demon didn't go out tonight. Qin Jiang nodded and said nothing. Long Yuesheng took a deep breath. This fox demon is not simple, it is from the Qingqiu fox clan. Although Qingqiu is no longer in Daxia, it is just an ordinary clan member, but it may not be troublesome. You have to be careful. I can help investigate Jinyu Pavilion, but I don't have the strength to investigate Qingqiu. Qin Jiang smiled when he heard it. I know, Brother Long. Long Yuesheng raised his hand when he heard it, and stopped halfway, and then slowly put it down. Join the Tongzhong Gate, no one can help you as well as you have strength. Then, please ask Brother Long to recommend one or two, the quota of the Red Tiger Gang has been used up. Qin Jiang said. Of course, with your qualifications, it is more than enough to join the Tongzhong Gate, and maybe it won't take long for you to be promoted to a true disciple. At that time, the Emperor will be far away, and it will not be so easy for Qingqiu to deal with a secret warrior in Daxia. Long Yuesheng said, he has no doubt about Qin Jiang's qualifications. With the demon-level talent he has shown now, he may become a real secret warrior in less than a year. In the future, he may even have the opportunity to compete for the position of the leader of the Tongzhong Gate. At that time, it is not an exaggeration to call him a local emperor when he rules a county. Qin Jiang smiled when he heard it. Thank you for your good words, Brother Long. After Long Yuesheng left, Qin Jiang called Zhang Lin. After Qin Jiang was promoted to the first seat, the position of the leader of the four halls was handed over to him. Boss, you called me? Zhang Lin asked. Go and get the martial arts in the gang, and by the way, find the various families in the city and copy a copy of the high-level Jinyu in their hands. Qin Jiang said, since there is no more potential point, let him see where the limit of the Jinyu is. He doesn't believe that dozens of Jinyu can't really beat a secret martial art. Chapter 75, please read on, Black Demon Statue Power. The fearless heart is achieved. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 75, please follow up, the Black Devil Image Skill. The fearlessness is accomplished. Boss, are you serious? High-level Jinyu are the lifeblood of each family, so I'm afraid they won't hand them over. And at this time, Zhang Lin said with some bitterness. Now is the time to work together to fight against the strange siege. Wouldn't doing this affect the cooperation of all parties? Qin Jiang glanced at him and nodded slightly. Let Kong Hai go and tell him. After that, he waved his hand. Zhang Lin opened his mouth without saying anything, turned around and left. Not long after, Zhang Lin sent martial arts from the gang. Boss, Hall Master Kong has gone. This is all the martial arts in the martial arts pavilion. There are 10 martial arts schools that are not popular, for complete martial arts schools of ordinary martial arts, 3 incomplete martial arts schools, and 3 incomplete martial arts schools of advanced martial arts. He said. Qin Jiang nodded, leave it here. Zhang Lin put down the secret book in his hand, and Qin Jiang picked up one and flipped through it. It was a fragment of a book, and it was written Mang Nyo Jin. After reading through it, he looked at the panel, Mang Nyo Jin, fragment, not beginner, 5/400, 52%. The fragment has been retrieved. Do you want to consume potential points for deduction? This deduction will consume 2 potential points. Looking at the prompt, he couldn't help but laugh. Sure enough, the remaining chapters of martial arts were troublesome to others, but it was not a big deal to him. Deduction. The deduction is completed during the deduction. Man Nyo Jin, not yet started, 5/400, 52%. Potential points, 481.6. Without hesitation, he looked at the remaining martial arts, snake beating stick, dark iron sword, and flying eagle claw. He selected 2 that did not conflict with his current martial arts system and looked through them. After a while, there was a sound of footsteps under the city wall, and a deacon wearing a fox fur cloak ran up quickly. He was sweating profusely. When he saw Qin Jiang, he shouted loudly, First Officer. Oh no! Second master, he was blocked in the east of the city by people from the local family association. Qin Jiang recognized this person as Su Shi, the second hall deacon, a very talented young man who had mastered Red Tiger Fist in just 3 months. What's going on? Speak slowly. Su Shi gasped for breath, and he ran all the way over without stopping for a moment. Second master received your order from the first master and went to various schools to copy martial arts, but was blocked by Zhao Qinli. This guy has already mastered the 4th level of the 10 demon swords. The second master is no match for him and is blocked in the east of the city. Qin Jiang frowned slightly. Who is Zhao Qinli? Su Shi was stunned when he heard this. He didn't expect that Qin Jiang didn't know, and immediately said, looking back, Zhao Qinli is the eldest brother of the head of the Zhao family, and he is also the magistrate of the county government prison. His sword skills are extremely strong, no weaker than the county captain. How many? Qin Jiang nodded. Let's go and have a look. After that, he directly grabbed Su Shi and jumped off the city wall, throwing him on a black horse, and he also fell on the horse. The 2 rode horses forward, and soon arrived at the east of the city. From a distance, they saw 2 groups of people confronting each other. One group was the Red Tiger gang led by Kong Hai, and the other group was wearing government uniforms. The leader was a bearded man, dressed in black, with angry eyes. Behind him, there were Zhao Yunsheng and a group of people from the local family standing. At a rough look, there were at least 7 or 8 masters in the realm of divine will. Zhao Qinli. I advise you not to toast or eat as a fine. If you offend the leader, you won't even know how you died. Kong Hai shouted angrily. He didn't expect that it was just the first stop and he actually fell down. What a bad start. Kong, don't be so shameless. Not to mention your leader, even if your gang leader comes, he won't even think of taking away my 10 demon sword manual. Zhao Qinli roared with a steel sword in his hand. This 10 demonic swords was obtained by chance and it is extremely powerful. He even had a hunch that as long as he could practice these 10 magic swords to perfection, he would be qualified to challenge Lu Xuanwu. By then, it's hard to say who will be the top expert in Black Mountain City. But now, people from the Red Tiger gang actually dare to come and rob openly. It's too cruel to bully others. How could he bear this tone? Hurry! The sound of reining in the horse was heard, the crowd behind Kong Hai made way, and Qin Jiang slowly rode forward. First seat. Kong Hai quickly ran over to lead the horse and looked at Zhao Qinli with an unhappy expression. Qin Jiang sat on the horse and looked at Zhao Qinli condescendingly. Zhao Dianli, now that the strange territory is taking shape, perhaps I strange will be born soon, but now, the county's rescue is far away. In today's Black Mountain City, only I have the chance to reach a level that can compete with the eyes. Zhao Qinli's complexion changed when he heard this. Of course he knew what the eye trick was, but he also knew how big the gap was between a true warrior and the eye trick. Therefore, he didn't believe what Qin Jiang said at all, and only thought that the other party was lying to him, just to get the 10 demon swords in his hand. Little Huanko, don't think that you can talk nonsense just because you are the leader. If you want my 10 demon swords, come and get them yourself. As he spoke, he raised his chin and revealed a corner of the 10 demon sword secret book in his arms. Boom! The smoke and dust stirred up, and Kong Hai felt a strong wind blowing by his ears. When he looked back, Qin Jiang was no longer on the horse. He quickly looked ahead. Smoke and dust obscured his vision. The night wind blew away the smoke and dust, revealing what was inside. In a shallow pit with a diameter of more than 2 meters, Qin Jiang stepped on Zhao Qinli's head with 1 foot, and held a secret book in his right hand, which was the 10 demon sword manual that Zhao Qinli had just revealed. Qin Jiang put away the secret book and looked at the people in the association opposite. I want to borrow the Jinyu of each family for a look. If anyone doesn't want to, just say it in front of me. The voice was not loud, but it echoed in everyone's ears. The people in the association looked at Zhao Qinli, who was unconscious at Qin Jiang's feet, and couldn't help but roll their throats. After Song Xiaoan's death, Zhao Qinli was the best among them, and now, this best master of the association was subdued in an instant. I'm afraid that even Lu Xuanwu at his peak couldn't do it. No objection. If you say anything else after this moment, don't blame me for turning my face. Qin Jiang said with a smile. After that, he looked at Kong Hai. Old Kong, go, who dares to obstruct, write it down, I will go and get it myself. 3 days later, at night, Qin Jiang sat on the south wall of the city and looked at the strange fog surging outside the city. The strange fog tonight seemed to be a little too active. After pondering for a moment, he focused on the potential panel: current martial arts, true self innate skill, perfect, 69%, iron body skill, perfect, 53%, earth king dragon body, perfect, 88%, red tiger fist, perfect, 67%, crane flame palm, perfect, 65%, golden flame blade, perfect, 57%, point 10 demon blades, perfect, 83%, golden image skill, perfect, 89%, black evil skill, perfect, 86%. Potential points, 3.6, the potential points are almost exhausted, but at the same time, his strength has also undergone earth-shaking changes, especially the 10 demon blades, golden image skill and black evil skill. The adaptability is more than 80%, when the adaptability is more than 70%, it will be twice as effective with half the effort, as if there is divine help. When it is more than 80%, it is not only easier to practice, but also more powerful. Compared with martial arts with low adaptability, the power can almost reach double the degree. As for 90%, it can almost be said to be comparable to the legendary innate magical power. Even the most rubbish martial arts can play a magical effect. Needless to say, the 10 demon swords were learned from Zhao Qianli, and it is a Jinyu that is a few points stronger than the red tiger fist. The golden image art was sent by the Lin family, who has always been extremely low-key. It is very powerful, and its quality is not inferior to the true self-innate art. And the black evil art is also a high-level Jinyu that is not inferior to the golden image art. It was sent by Su Yanran. Along with the golden flame sword and another high-level Jinyu, it must be said that the Su family's foundation is indeed profound, which makes him more curious about the origin of the Su family. Put away the panel, and now he has dozens of Jinyu. Even he himself does not know how strong he is, breaking the city with one blow. What's wrong? But can he really deal with an eye ghost? An eye ghost comparable to a secret warrior? Sit cross-legged quietly on the city wall, eyes slightly closed, breath gradually weakened, the sound of the wind around him gradually disappeared, and all his consciousness began to empty. I don't know how long it took, but the night sky was suddenly illuminated. Bang! 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 A series of signal rockets exploded, which were rockets used in emergency calls for help, and now, they are rising everywhere in Black Mountain City. Tap, tap, tap. Zhang Lin rushed up quickly and ran straight to Qin Jiang. Boss. It's bad. Strange things are happening everywhere in the city. Before he finished speaking, his pupils suddenly shrank, and he looked outside the city in shock. I saw a dense army of white bones rushing out of the strange fog and attacking Black Mountain City. This time the offensive was far greater than before. He looked at Qin Jiang anxiously, but saw that the other party was sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed, without any movement. He couldn't help but panic, and quickly organized people to resist the attack of the White Bone Army, while calling other hall masters and elders. But even so, under the turbulent attack of the Skeleton Army, they were still defeated and almost had the city wall breached. He looked at Qin Jiang. Only Qin Jiang could turn the tide. But when he turned his sight, he suddenly found that Qin Jiang was standing quietly on the city wall at this time, like an eternal statue. Qin Jiang opened his eyes slightly and looked inside and outside the city. Fires were burning everywhere in the city, and there were strange people committing crimes on the streets. Outside the city were countless skeleton army, terrified screams, angry roars, and unwilling roars. At this moment, Black Mountain City looked like a city that was about to be broken and destroyed, but his heart was calm. He raised his head and looked at the sky. The strange fog obscured the moonlight, and only a patch of light could be seen vaguely. He stretched out his hand, as if to push away the clouds and mist to see the bright moon. Absolute confidence. A feeling of blessing rose in his heart. He closed his eyes slightly, and then suddenly opened them. With an indescribable dominance. The surging blood-red evil spirits suddenly erupted, and in the blink of an eye it turned into pitch black. The strands of evil spirit gathered behind him, forming a 3-meter-tall substantial human figure, whose face was exactly the same as his. Potential points plus 20. Black Evil Statue Skill, 5th level, 1900/2500, 95%. The fierce black evil spirit surged wildly, spreading across the wall in the south of the city in an instant, covering all the white bones and skulls. The majestic power rose, dispelling the strange fog above the city wall. The moonlight fell, and the bright moon reappeared. He unconsciously stretched out his hand, as if he wanted to hold the bright moon in his palm. For no reason, he thought of his past life and couldn't help but whisper to himself. Suddenly he opened the golden rope and broke the jade lock here. Fearless heart, ha 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 ha. That the arrogant and domineering laughter resounded through the night, and the wanton laughter seemed to have broken free of some kind of shackles. His figure against the firelight was like the arrival of a demon. The knots in the heart have been opened, the locks on thoughts have been broken, and the fearless heart has been achieved. Chapter 76. Update tomorrow at 12:30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 76. Update tomorrow at 12:30 that I'm offering a friend's book, Low Martial Arts World. I combine words to become a god, author Yu Xiaopeng. The link is at the back. Then, I'll check the follow-up reading tomorrow. If there are enough 300 people, it will be put on the shelves. If not, I'll wait for 200,000 words. The main thing is that if it is put on the shelves on the first, you can get it with full attendance. After all, if you only rely on subscriptions, it is probably not enough for a meal at Hegemony. With 300 follow-up readings, the first order is estimated to be more than 100. With this result, it will probably be less than 500 in a month. Then in terms of the plot, the potential points that were not used up immediately in the front are actually because Qin Jiang was a more cautious person in the early stage. I should have written this, but it may not be so obvious. So before there was a stable source of potential points, Qin Jiang actually regarded the potential points as a trump card. It was not until later that the evil spirit of the red tiger fist affected his mind, and his personality became a little paranoid, even extreme and arrogant. Then, after being able to control it slowly, his personality gradually became calmer, but he was still affected by the evil spirit and had some hostility in his heart. Then, when he reached the stage of fearlessness, the protagonist's mentality actually went through 3 changes. This book is mainly based on the changes in the protagonist's mentality, including the parts that have not been shown in the later period. Then, there are actually many problems in the logic of the plot in the front. Although it was remedied later, it is obvious that most people have been poisoned and have not read the latter part. Well, that's it. I hope everyone will support it. My friend's book, please support it. Chapter 77. Black Demon Statue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The surging evil spirit enveloped the southern city wall, and all the people of the Red Tiger gang were attracted by the wanton laughter. In Zhang Lin's shocked eyes, Qin Jiang's figure suddenly expanded and turned into a 3-meter-tall humanoid monster. The black evil demon statue behind him merged with his body, and Qin Jiang's body was covered with billowing black smoke. Black evil demon statue. This demon-like posture is exactly the state of Qin Jiang's complete liberation. The black evil demon statue skill with an adaptability of 95% shows the unreasonable power of supernatural power at this time. Ha! Everyone, including the masters of the divine realm, felt a flash before their eyes, followed by a sound of bones bursting in their ears. In just a moment, a black light flashed across the top of the city, and instantly defeated the army of bones that almost broke the defense line of the city. The black light was so horizontal that even the dynamic vision of the masters of the divine realm could not keep up. They could only barely see a demon figure horizontally. In a breath, the sea-like army of bones was destroyed. That terrifying power, even if he knew it was not an enemy, still made him feel terrified. Puff! Qin Jiang rushed into the strange fog, his whole body bursting with evil spirit, dispelling the strange fog outside the south of the city. After about half a quarter of an hour, his huge body rushed out of the strange fog, and there was no skeleton behind him. Chen Feng, Zhang Lin and the 4th Hall guard here. Sun Qianzhao and Kong Hai lead the 2nd Hall to support the county lieutenant of Long in the north of the city. Lu Sheng and Sun Yan lead the third and fifth halls to eliminate the weird in the city. After saying that, he didn't wait for everyone to answer, and rushed directly to the west of the city. If he remembered correctly, the Lin family and the Su family were mainly defending there. His figure leaped, and from time to time he waved out a stream of evil spirit, and every place where the evil spirit fell destroyed a weird. Looking at the panel. Current martial arts, true self innate skill, perfect, 69%, black evil demon statue skill, 5th level, 1900/2500, 95%. Potential points, 23.6. It looks much simpler. Although the true self-innate skill has far surpassed the original 5 animals exercises, it is still a health-preserving skill and does not match his main martial arts system, so it was retained. The rest is mainly based on the 10 demon swords, golden statue skill and black evil skill, all of which are integrated and refined into a brand new black evil demon statue skill. Although it still belongs to the high-level Jinyu level, it has reached the unprecedented 5th level among Jinyu, and the compatibility has reached an outrageous 95%. It can be said that all existing martial arts will not have such a high degree of compatibility with him. With such a high degree of compatibility, the black evil demon statue skill has almost become his instinct. It is worthy of being comparable to his innate magical power. Without hesitation, he directly poured potential points into the black evil demon statue skill. Now the crisis of the strange siege has not been resolved, he must let himself reach the strongest state. Black evil demon statue skill, 5th level, 1900/2500, experience value plus 600. Black evil demon statue skill, perfect. Potential points, 17.6. It is detected that the black evil demon statue skill has reached the limit of ordinary martial arts. Do you want to consume 1100 potential points to perform the Xian grade martial arts transition deduction? Note, this deduction will be based on the black evil demon statue skill for adaptability adjustment. The minimum martial arts adaptability after deduction is 96%. The sense of power in the body is boiling again. The perfect level, or the perfect black evil demon statue skill, is more than 3 times stronger than the 5th level black evil demon statue skill before it is perfected. The gap between the Grandmaster and the 4th level of Jinyu is more obvious in the black evil demon statue skill. Looking at the prompt, 96% that he remembered that the red tiger fist was only 85% before, but that was based on the premise that the original adaptability of the red tiger fist was only 67%. Is it because the foundation of the black evil demon statue is too high? However, it is always good to be able to improve. After the adaptability reaches 90%, every percentage increase is huge. The gap between 96% and 95% is even greater than that between 67% and 85%. And if it can reach 100%, it is simply unimaginable how outrageous it will be. Putting away the potential panel, Qin Jiang came to the west of the city in a short while. Looking at the city wall from a distance, the White Bone Army has already attacked the top of the city, and there are battles everywhere. At a glance, 3 of them are very eye-catching. One of them is the Su family's housekeeper. Where the golden flame knife is running, no white bone skeleton can stop it. As for the other 2 middle-aged men, Qin Jiang has never seen them, but they look like brothers, and their clothes are embroidered with the copper coin logo of the Lin family. Moreover, he felt the aura of the golden statue skill on these 2 people, and they must be from the Lin family. They used swords and shields, and when they held up the big shields and collided with each other, they smashed the white skeletons. In front of them, it must be said that although the Lin family is low-key, their strength should not be underestimated. 2 masters of the 4th level of high-level Jinyu, and practicing the same weapon. I am afraid that even Lu Xuanwu will not be able to get away with it if they join forces. This Lin family is the real first family in Black Mountain City. What really surprised Qin Jiang was Su Yanran, wearing a capable short-sleeved outfit, punching the white skeletons. Each punch was powerful, almost reaching the level of the divine realm. He was sure that Su Yanran had not yet practiced high-level Jinyu. Such talent is already considered a genius. Without looking at it anymore, Qin Jiang suddenly accelerated, and the huge 3-meter demon body slammed heavily on the top of the city. The people on the city wall felt a black light suddenly fall, and the whole city wall trembled at this sudden blow. The next moment, when they looked at the place where the black light fell, the black light became stronger and instantly passed back and forth on the city wall. The huge body moved at a very fast speed, and the violent wind it raised was howling and whistling. If it was not a master in the realm of divine will, even his eyes could not be opened. The ordinary warriors on the city wall could not help but despair. They could not fight with their eyes open, and if they could not open their eyes now, they would definitely die. However, after a few seconds, they found that they were not hurt at all, and the sound of bones bursting kept ringing in their ears. The clear touch could even feel the slight stinging caused by the bone fragments falling on their faces. After a while, the wind gradually subsided, and they opened their eyes and couldn't help but widen their eyes. All the white bones inside and outside the city wall disappeared. No. Not gone. Instead, they turned into bone powder all over the ground. The whole city wall was covered with a layer of white. The thickest part was not even above the ankles. It was impossible to imagine how many skeletons had died. What kind of power is this? Is this really the power that humans can possess? Near the middle of the city wall, Su Yenran looked up at the nearly 3-meter-tall, demon-like figure in front of her. The gnarled body almost broke the clothes, the broad palms were like a cattail leaf fan, and the face was exactly the same as Brother Qin. Brother Qin. She widened her eyes and spoke in disbelief, although she also knew that some powerful martial arts could change the size of a person's body, but she had never heard of someone like this, almost turning into a giant. Qin Jiang's figure slowly shrank and returned to the size of an ordinary person. He looked at Su Yenran and smiled. What? Don't you recognize me? Su Yenran was stunned, and then hurriedly shook her head. No, I was just a little shocked for a moment. On the other side, the masters of the Su family, the Lin family, and some small families also came over. Some of them recognized Qin Jiang, and their eyes were filled with shock. The new leader of the Red Tiger Gang, who had suppressed the local family association a few days ago, was very fierce. Especially for Butler Su, his impression of Qin Jiang still remained on the Shirshir River outside the city that day. Although he later learned that Qin Jiang had become the leader of the Red Tiger Gang, he actually had no real feeling until this moment. He knew very well that there were no conditions for cultivating secret martial arts in Black Mountain City, which meant that Qin Jiang was still in the realm of divine will at this time. The same realm of divine will as him? He looked around the city wall, which was full of devastation, and his temples could not help but throb. God, this was something that a true warrior in the realm of divine will could have done. Chapter 78 Nightlit Stone Lions, Green Fire Copper Furnace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Steward Su suddenly doubted whether he was practicing high-level real martial arts. I'm afraid, even if the young lady practices the black evil kung fu to perfection, and then doubles her strength several times, she will never be this powerful. This young Master Qin is really eye-opening. The two brothers from the Lin family on the other side couldn't help but froze on the spot. They are a branch of the Lin family in the state capital. 30 years ago, after the current head of the Lin family became the governor of Guangzhou, he bloodbathed all the enemies within the family. After that, they were ordered to move to Black Mountain City to investigate a mysterious case that year. For them, they had seen too many evil geniuses when they were in the state capital, but even so, they had never seen anyone comparable to the one in front of them. They could see traces of their own golden image skill on the 3-foot-long demonic body just now. Besides the golden image skill, there were at least 2 other true martial arts that were not weaker than the golden image skill. But the problem is, this golden image kung fu is Lin's foundation building technique, and it is definitely one of the top true martial arts in Qianzhou. Even in the whole of Daxia, there are not many true martial arts who can compare with the golden image skill. But now, one can actually see 3 gates in a person. And it blends perfectly into one. No. It's at least 3 doors. This is simply outrageous. They looked at each other and nodded secretly. It seemed that they would have to establish a good relationship with the leader of the Red Tiger Gang in the future, not only because of the strength in front of him, but also because of the 3 top true martial arts gathered together. This Qin leader must have extraordinary opportunities. At the level of their Lin family, they are in awe of things like luck and destiny. Qin Jiang's eyes scanned everyone, even if there was no hostility. it was like an invisible sharp sword passing through. Everyone, the Su family will stay here to guard the city gate. The rest, please ask the Lin family to lead and support the east of the city. He said. The eldest son of the Lin family nodded. Thank you so much for coming to the rescue, Chief Qin. If it hadn't been for Chief Qin's coming, I'm afraid the west side of the city would have been destroyed. If you have free time in the future, you can come to the Lin family as a guest. My second brother and I will definitely sweep up the couch to welcome you. Qin Jiang smiled and nodded. When the strange danger is over, I will definitely pay you a visit to thank you for your contribution. Okay, then I'll take the first step. After the Lin family left with their people, only the Su family were left on the city wall, cleaning the battlefield and repairing damage to prevent another army of bones from attacking. Qin Jiang stood by the city wall and looked at the fog outside the city, his expression not relaxing. Brother Qin, there is something I want to tell you. Su Yanran came over and said. Qin Jiang looked at Su Yanran and asked with a smile, what's the matter? Su Yanran thought for a moment and sorted out her thoughts. Although the field outside the west of the city is not a good harvest, it is still within the normal yield. Normally speaking, support from the county should have arrived for this strange siege, but now it seems that there is obviously an accident. Therefore, Yanran guessed that this strange siege may not be that simple, and may affect more than just Black Mountain City. The Shusha River in Heishan City is one of the sources of the Canglang River. If a method is set up here, with the help of the water flow, a county or even several counties may be affected. Therefore, Yanran wants to sell all the grain stored in my Su family after the strange siege, and she may make a lot of money. If that doesn't work, give it to the county or city for management, open warehouses to quell disasters, gain a good reputation, and have many benefits in the future. Qin Jiang's eyes moved slightly when he heard this, but he didn't expect Su Yanran to have such thoughts. In fact, it's normal to think about it. If you didn't even have this ability, the Su family would have been broken up long ago. Just do whatever Yanran wants to do, but what? Su Yanran was happy when she heard the first half of the sentence, but she was a little nervous when she heard the word, but. Qin Jiang smiled, raised his hand and slowly made it into a fist. You only need to punch when you can't hold the fist. If the fist is big enough, they will hit you. So, you can't relax in martial arts. Su Yanran was startled when she heard this, and couldn't help but think of the night when the Su family was destroyed, when she was still very young. Later, her Su family has been wandering among various cities, and it was only in recent years that she established a firm foothold in Black Mountain City. But she, the main line of the Su family, was almost wiped out. If Grandpa was still alive, how could he end up like this? As soon as she thought about this, her eyes became sharp. That's natural. I study martial arts hard in order to go back in a dignified way one day. Qin Jiang smiled. If he had developed a fearless heart before, he might have asked about the origins of the Su family, but now, to him, these are no longer important. Walking here, even if there are all kinds of disasters, I can overcome them with my own strength. His eyes spanned the 100-meter open space outside the city west, looking at the surging mist. Su Yanran followed his gaze and was about to speak, but suddenly froze, and then became panicked. I saw a stone lion walking out of the mist, surrounded by mist, and a pure black jade bead between its eyebrows. This is the stone lion at the source of the Shusha River. But what really made Su Yanran feel alarmed and even horrified was that this stone lion had a pair of blood-red eyes that emitted a glimmer of light. Although the red light is weak, it is extremely penetrating, with a terrifying sense of oppression. Su Yanran's body was trembling, her eyes were strange. The eye trick born in the trick field turned out to be it. This is definitely not something that a true warrior can deal with. There is an essential gap between a true warrior and a trickster. Even Brother Qin, before she finished thinking, Qin Jiang beside her had already disappeared, and the speed of the instantaneous explosion was so fast that even the sonic boom could not catch up. The next moment, a 3-meter demon body appeared in front of the stone lion, and the huge fist fell down, compressing the air under the fist into a visible air wave. Boom! With a loud bang, smoke and dust splashed all over the sky, and even the people on the city wall felt the tremor. The smoke and dust gradually dissipated, and the whole body of the stone lion lay on the ground, with its head hammered into the ground. It was vaguely seen that the tiny cracks were slowly repairing. Qin Jiang shook his fist, and a wisp of blood fell. It was his own blood, really hard. It is worthy of being a super weird that can compete with secret warriors. Even if he now has more than a dozen high-level real martial arts integrated into one body, he still can't cause too much damage to this guy. On the city wall, Butler Su looked at the 3-meter demon shadow in shock and fell into a daze. It was not until this moment that he realized how ridiculous his previous guess about Qin Jiang was. Weird. This is an eye ghost. He was knocked down by a punch. Su Yenran on the other side also stood there in a daze, staring at the scene outside the city. Brother Qin is a secret warrior. She shook her head and dismissed the idea in just a moment. The Su family is not without secret martial arts. She knew very well that it was impossible to practice secret martial arts in Black Mountain City, but this also means that Brother Qin is fighting against an eye ghost at the level of a true warrior. An eye ghost comparable to a secret warrior. She has seen with her own eyes how powerful a secret warrior is. Even in the county city, it ranks high. Her Su family became one of the 3 major gates and 9 prestigious families in Ning'an County City because of the presence of 3 secret warriors. Boom! Another loud noise sounded in her ears, and Su Yenran looked over quickly, only to see Qin Jiang standing with the stone lion and rushing into the strange fog. For no reason, she felt a panic in her heart, but she could do nothing at this moment. In Black Mountain City, wars were raging everywhere. Outside the city, in the lower reaches of the Shirsha River in the east of the city, the strange fog covering the river suddenly surged. Bang! A huge iron and wooden warship occupied almost 1/3 of the river, breaking through the strange fog and coming upstream in an unstoppable manner. The warship leaped on the river, and on the bow, a majestic figure with his arms around his chest, looking down at the Black Mountain City not far away with proud contempt. Humph! That with a cold snort, wisps of green flames burst out from him, burning the strange fog with a chi-chi sound, and gradually formed a huge green copper furnace of 100 meters in the sky. The majestic power was like the pressure of heaven, releasing terrifying green flames and dispersing the strange fog in the sky. The listing failed. It will take 200,000 words. Chapter 79 Long Yi, the Second Guardian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Black Mountain City, the people fighting fiercely looked at the falling moonlight in a daze. What's going on? What about the mist? Laugh. Some people were shocked by the sudden change, forgetting for a moment that they were still fighting against the strange, and their chests were cut open by sharp claws. Just as he endured the pain and prepared to fight back, he suddenly felt that time around him seemed to slow down, and wisps of blue flames fell down, filling the entire field of vision. While breathing, the cyan flame fell on Wei. The next moment it came into contact, Wei melted like a burning candle, and then turned into black ash and dissipated. After a while, the perception returned to normal. Everyone looked around blankly, and then looked at each other in confusion. The weirdness that made them feel stress just now has completely disappeared at this moment. Inadvertently, one of them raised his head and exclaimed, "I saw a cloudless night sky, and under the bright moon, a huge bronze furnace with a height of 100 meters was slowly rotating." In the north of the city, Long Yuesheng looked at the bronze furnace in the sky with ecstasy on his face and rushed towards the east of the city. Not long after, he came to the east of the city. The city defense team led by Zhao Qianli of the Zhao family was still in a daze, and Zhao Qianli himself was looking at the copper furnace in a daze. Seeing Long Yuesheng approaching, although Zhao Dongsheng was a little confused, he still took a few steps forward. "Lord County Captain, what exactly is going on? What is that blue copper furnace in the sky?" That he knew that Long Yuesheng's origin was not simple, and perhaps he knew the origin of this bronze furnace. This is not his fault. Although small-town local gentry like them know about the existence of mystical warriors, they have almost no chance to witness the battles between mystic warriors and do not know what their power is. But Long Yuesheng obviously ignored him and walked straight past him to the top of the city to have a look. In the distance, he saw a warship cutting through the waves. When he saw the people on the bow clearly, he couldn't help but raise his right arm. "Uncle." "Here." Boom. There was a sound like a war drum, and the majestic man on the bow jumped up, and the huge force made the warship make a drum sound, bang. The majestic man landed on the city wall, and the entire city wall trembled slightly, making people wonder how heavy the man in front of them was. On the other side of the city wall, Zhao Qinli looked at the majestic man in front of him with his pupils narrowed. He knows it. He had seen this man once when he was escorting criminals to Ning'an County. That day, this man scolded the prison chief of the county and city as if he were training a dog. And that cell leader is an extremely powerful secret warrior. He did not know the identity of this person, only that his name was Long Yi. Yu Sheng, are you okay? Your father is the same. He insists that I make this Black Mountain City my last stop. Tatsuno crossed his arms, looking a bit like a peerless expert, but the words he spoke sounded like a street gangster. Long Yuesheng frowned slightly when he heard this. Third uncle, are there other cities in Ning'an County that are also besieged by mist? Tatsuno curled his lips. Not only that, even several surrounding counties close to the Zhanglang River were affected. Your father speculated that this super-large strange wave may have been caused by the people of Jinyu Pavilion using a mysterious artifact to pollute the Zhanglang River. Long Yuesheng was shocked when he heard this. He didn't expect that this strange wave would affect such a wide range. If he said it wasn't premeditated, he wouldn't believe it even if he were killed. Are there armies of bones everywhere else? He asked. Of course, the magic weapon is not something that's on the street. Even the Golden Jade Pavilion doesn't have many of them. Long Yi said, every crafty weapon is unique. It may not have strong frontal combat capabilities, but its abilities are almost unsolvable. Even if a mystic warrior encounters him, he will die if he is not careful. After speaking, he waved his hand, and the bronze furnace hanging on the Black Mountain City disappeared. He turned around and made a squatting posture. Okay, Yu Sheng, the third uncle is leaving. Let's meet again in the county town later. I haven't had a drink with you for a long time. Hey! Wait for the third uncle. Long Yu was so excited that he quickly raised his hand and shouted, but it's still a step too late. It doesn't really matter. After Long Yi, who had already leaped out, heard Long Yuesheng's cry, he drew a semicircle in mid-air and fell back to the original place. What's wrong, Yusheng? He asked. Long Yuesheng looked around. Elder son, second master Kong, where is my brother Qin? Sun Qianzhao and Kong Hai were stunned. They ran over to support them, but before they could take action, all the weird things were cleared away by Long Yi. They were feeling a little embarrassed at this time. My lord, the county captain, it seems that he has gone to the west of the city. Kong Hai said that if he remembered correctly, that direction was to the west. Long Yuesheng nodded and looked at Long Yi. Third uncle, let's go to the west of the city first. We'll talk on the way. Tatsuno looked at the crowd around him and curled his lips. Okay. After the two left, Sun Qianzhao and Kong Hai looked at each other. Old son, are you leaving? You're already here, why don't you say hello to the Zhao family? We can't help. Besides, I get angry when I see Zhao Qinli. Okay, withdraw. They each nodded, turned around and left without any hesitation, but were stopped by Zhao Yunxing on the side. You two, stay back. All the brothers of the Red Tiger Gang, stay back. Being able to come here to help this time is really a help in times of need. If you can't fulfill the friendship of the landlord, it will really make Zhao Mao uneasy. That he smiled and handed over his hand. As a veteran for many years, he certainly knew that the people from the Red Tiger Gang were definitely not here to seek revenge. Besides, although his elder brother had some grievances with the Red Tiger Gang, the 10-demon sword manual had already been given to him. It was not worth it to continue the grudge. Now that the leader of the Red Tiger Gang was in his prime, he also wanted to take this opportunity to resolve the previous grievances. Sun Qian looked at Kong Hai, who was silent for a moment and nodded slightly, then turned around and laughed. Ha ha ha. Brother Zhao is polite. We didn't help much. On the city wall, Long Yuesheng and Long Yi jumped. Yuesheng, what's the matter? It's so mysterious. Long Yi asked. Third uncle, I want to recommend someone to join the Bronze Bell Gate. Long Yuesheng said. Long Yi raised his eyebrows. Are you sure? You only have one place in 5 years. As one of the three famous families in Ning'an County, the Long family is naturally bound to the Bronze Bell Gate. Every descendant of the main line of the Long family has a recommendation quota without examination. Long Yuesheng nodded. The Tongzhong sect only recruits disciples every 5 years, and the last time was 2 years ago. If Qin Jiang wants to join the Tongzhong sect this year, the only way is internal recommendation. If it were someone else, if they wanted to get this quota from him, they would have to spend 3,000 to 5,000 taels of silver, and forget it. But Qin Jiang is different. Let alone their personal relationship, Qin Jiang's talent alone is enough to make some guardians and even elders in the sect scramble for him, not to mention that their friendship is pretty good, and it can be further developed in the future. It was a coincidence that the third uncle came this time, so he just worshipped under the third uncle, so that Qin Jiang would not be scrambled for by other families after he emerged. Uncle San, the one I want to recommend is not ordinary. His rise is simply outrageous. He mastered the Red Tiger Fist in just a few months. He jumped from a small medicine boy to the leader of the Red Tiger Gang. What does being the leader of the Red Tiger Gang mean? I don't need to say more, right? What a ruthless person. Such good materials and beautiful qualities are extremely rare. That is you, Uncle San. If it were someone else, I would definitely not tell him. Long Yi was stunned when he heard this, and then laughed. Good boy, are you setting a trap for me? I am the second guardian of the Bronze Bell Gate after all. Do I accept disciples casually? After saying that, he grabbed Long Yuesheng's collar. Hurry up, take me to see. The Red Tiger Fist was mastered in less than a year. What kind of freak is this? Long Ye's strength was far above Long Yuesheng. The speed of the two of them instantly increased. In just a breath, the two of them arrived on the city wall in the west of the city. Just as Long Yuesheng was watching the top of the city getting closer and closer, he suddenly heard Long Ye's huh, then he felt the surrounding scene change, and after a few breaths, the scene solidified, and the two fell to the ground. Looking at the trees around him, he felt a little familiar. Is this the source of the Shirsha River? Why are we here? Before he could ask, a hint of darkness suddenly appeared in the corner of his eyes. Looking over, he saw Qin Jiang sitting on the head of a stone lion, and a dark golem behind him slowly dissipated. Chapter 80, The Secret of the Innate Qi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Long Yuesheng looked at the slowly dissipating black shadow on the stone lion, and actually felt an inexplicable palpitation, which was a kind of fear originating from the instinct of life. What is this? He asked tremblingly. He recognized the young man on the stone lion. He was definitely Qin Jiang, but isn't Qin Jiang practicing Red Tiger Fist? What kind of magical power is this in front of me? Long Yi on the side had a sharp look. He actually felt a slight sense of threat in the person in front of him. But how is this possible? Suddenly, his eyes were attracted by the stone lion under Qin Jiang. Although the faint red color almost disappeared, he could see it clearly with his eyesight. Tricky eyes. This is a trickster. But the problem is that the man in front of him does not have the aura of the secret martial source. He is clearly still a true warrior. A true warrior killed an eye-catcher. He has lived for hundreds of years, and he has only heard of such things, and they may not be true. There is an essential difference between the secret warriors and the real warriors. The secret martial source power of the secret warrior and the strange source power of the mysterious eyes are all existences that are close to the laws of heaven and earth. After absorbing the power of the secret martial art source, the physical body of the secret martial artist will undergo a great transformation. The gap between him and a true warrior is as big as a chasm. This is also the reason why the secret warriors are called inhuman. How could anyone be able to kill an eye trick at the true warrior stage? Despite his centuries-old temperament, he couldn't help but feel a little excited at this moment. If this son is a good friend of the Long family, he might be able to reach another level in the future. As soon as he thought of this, he directly pulled up Long Yuesheng and came to Qin Jiang in one step. Long Yuesheng staggered, then reacted and quickly looked at Qin Jiang. Qin Jiang, this is my third uncle. The second guardian of the Tongzhong sect. Come and meet him. Qin Jiang turned to look at the two men and jumped down from the stone lion. looking at the majestic man beside Long Yuesheng, he slightly arched his hands. Just now, he sensed the terrifying power contained in the bronze furnace and knew that a powerful man was coming to the city. He didn't expect to meet him so soon. Third uncle, this is. Before Long Yuesheng could finish his sentence, he saw Long Yi striding towards Qin Jiang, just when he was a little nervous, thinking that Qin Jiang had somehow annoyed his third uncle. He saw Long Yi directly raise his hands to support Qin Jiang's arms. Qin Jiang, right? Well, you are very good. Really very good. Well. Are you interested in joining Tong's Hongmen? At this moment, Tatsuno looked a little embarrassed. He only regretted that he didn't learn how to praise people from his teacher, so now he can only say very good, very good. Qin Jiang was confused by the sudden enthusiasm and looked at Long Yuesheng. Long Yuesheng was also confused at this time. His third uncle had always been a master at pretending to be serious. When had he ever been so enthusiastic to others? Uncle Third, what are you doing? He asked directly. Long Yi turned back to look at him, and then reacted, remembering what Long Yuesheng said before about recommending someone to join the Tongzhong sect. He immediately said, didn't you say that you want to recommend Qin Jiang to join the Tongzhong sect? I agree, I completely agree. Long Yuesheng's eyes were confused. Did I mention brother Qin's name? Long Ye's expression changed slightly. He walked over and hugged Long Yuesheng's neck, and whispered, you kid, don't cause trouble to me. This Qin Jiang must join the Tongzhong sect. I said so. It would be a pity if such a genius could not join the Tong's Hongmen and become a member of the Long family. He looked directly back at Qin Jiang. Little brother Qin, it's settled. After a while, you and Yusheng will go to Ning'an city together, and I will personally pick you up when the time comes. After saying that, he directly jumped into the air. Yusheng, within a month, the transfer order will come down. You must go back with Qin Jiang. Remember. If you dare to come back by yourself, I will break your legs. He had to go back quickly and find his elder brother to finalize the matter, so as not to have long nights and dreams. You know, Ning'an city is not decided by the Long family. Among the 3 and 9 prominent families, they are ranked second at most. There is no doubt that the Wang family, which is ranked first, would definitely come to snatch him if he knew that Qin Jiang was such a genius. The future influence of a peerless genius like Qin Jiang would be enough to influence a state or even a country. Long Yuesheng watched the sky turn into black spots and Long Yi gradually disappeared, and for a moment he didn't know what to do. Brother Qin, how about waiting for a few more days? My third uncle has always been like a mad dog, making him unpredictable. Qin Jiang smiled when he heard this. I'm not in a hurry. The next day, the headquarters of the Red Tiger Gang, Lu Xuan was sat in the main seat, Qin Jiang sat at the top on the left, and the other elders and hall leaders were also there. Lu Xuan glanced at the big gun beside him, feeling a little restless. Chief Qin, I wonder why the conference is being held this time. He asked. Qin Jiang nodded slightly and looked around at everyone. This time it is about the Chiuya Gang in Luoshan City. I personally think that the Chiuya Gang can become history. What do you think? That it won't be long before he goes to the county town. As the leader of the Red Tiger Gang, he should also eliminate some threats for the Red Tiger Gang. Not only Luoshan City, he will also suppress gangs in several nearby cities. Of course, there is actually another reason, that is, he wants to search for some potential points. Come to think of it, he won't be disappointed. Is this Chief Qin a little anxious? The strength of the Chiuya Gang is not much worse than ours, and its leader is also a master-level expert. Sun Qianzhao said, he is not young anymore, and if possible, he still wants to be more stable. Qin Jiang raised his hand slightly. I will deal with the masters above the Divine Will realm, you just need to take over. Sun Qianzhao's face moved slightly after saying this. Although he is old, he is still able to move around. The old leader can still move, and he is not bad. Kong Hai on the opposite side even clasped his fists directly. Don't worry, Chief. If we can't do this kind of thing well, then we don't need to be the hall master and elder, just go home and farm. Okay, everyone go and prepare, and take over the Chiuya Gang within 3 days. A few days later, Anshin Villa, Qin Jiang sat in the pavilion in the yard and put down the last bronze fragment, looking at the panel. Current martial arts, black evil statue skill, perfect, 95%, true self innate skill, perfect, 69%, Qingfeng pushing cloud hand, perfect, 67%, Somha Qianyu Ju, perfect, 65%, Qianyuan Qian skill, perfect, 58%, Tsuxia Huaxing skill, perfect, 62%. Potential points, 792.6, the potential points are close to 800 points, which has exceeded his expectations. After all, although Black Mountain City is not big, it is backed by the Great Black Mountain. Compared with the surrounding cities, it is indeed wealthy. In addition, the surrounding cities are not Black Mountain City after all, and the Red Tiger Gang does not have such strong control. Most of what can be looted is on the surface. As for the Qingfeng pushing cloud hand and Somha Qianyu Ju and other Jinwu, they are Jinwu-level health-preserving fists that he collected. In order to experiment with the fusion deduction of the potential panel, potential, fusion deduction, true self Xiantian Gong, Qingfeng Tuyan hand, Somha Qianyu Ju, Qianyuan Qian Gong, Tsuxia Huaxing Gong. Deduction in progress, deduction completed. Xiantian Ichi Ju, first level, 1/1000, 78%. Potential points, 742.6.